Hi, hey, hello. My cousin's dog is judging me. Anyways, I'm at my cousin's apartment. It's got beautiful lighting. I am house sitting at the current moment, and I just thought I would do the intro to this vlog, which is a tennis romance vlog, because if you didn't know something about me, is I played tennis in high school. Not for very long, but very heartfeltly and passionately did I play that sport. And to this day, if you give me a racket and a ball and a wall, I will hit for hours by myself. I love tennis. So I thought that with, I'm hoping this goes out at like the beginning rounds of the US Open. I want to try to do a series where I read tennis romances for each of the Grand Slams. And so maybe like tie them in with like when you do the Australian Grand Slam, maybe do like Australian tennis romances, or maybe just read Australian romances. We'll see how this goes. I'm not really sure. There's no promises. This is episode 1, or maybe the only one. However, it is tennis romances, and we're starting with, one sec, Backhanded Compliments is one of the ones I'm reading. I've already read a little bit of it. Also, I have out from the library Breakpoint. And then I think this coming week or so, I think there's another tennis one called Clean Point, I think is what I was interested in. So I don't know the premise of Breakpoint or Clean Point, so I'll just give you this one. This is essentially like kind of like an Ashley Poston, where there's magical realism in this modern day romance. And so in this world, people can get soulmates. Their name appears, feels very fanficky, but their name appears on their wrist, and when you touch your soulmate, it like becomes like a Sharpie. It becomes dark, and so then you know that's your soulmate. And these two are tennis rivals, and also, what, say it with me, soulmates. So far so good. I won't give you a full update. I'll insert me reading it and then give you an update later, but that is the intro to this one. I wanted to do a little bit of a tennis romance, see if I like it, to also commemorate the US Open and maybe the other Opens. Maybe I'll call this the Grand Slam series. Here's little tippy tappies. I'm back home. Thought I'd give you a three-fourths away update on this book. I'm surprised by how much I like it, not gonna lie. And surprised with how much technical tennis is in here too. Like there is, when they're rallying because they're singles players, so they're obviously rivals, and they're going back and forth about the slice, the backhand, the volley, and whatnot. And I really enjoy it, because I can visualize that whole scene in my head, and I just didn't expect that to be in here. I really didn't think we'd encounter them truly on court, and we did. Because there's even a moment where one of them wins a Grand Slam by the ball hitting the net and then like flopping over, which is a horrible thing. If you're the recipient of that point, you're just like, if you're on the receiving end of that, you're pissed, and if you're the one who did it, you're just like, damn. So anyways, I really like that. I really like their dynamic. I'm normally not into a really insecure, overly sensitive like main character, and Luca is very much that, but somehow it works really well with Juliet's like fuck off and fuck you type of vibe, because Luca very much wants her soulmate to be like this thing because it's a soulmate mark, so it has to be. And Luca and Juliet's very much like, F you. What does a soulmate mark have to do with me and who I choose to love? You can go fuck yourself type thing. And they both say like comments that kind of hurt each other's feelings, but more so Luca's. And I don't know, the hurt comfort of it all I was really vibing with, and like the yearning. I think I wanted just a little bit more so far. But maybe we'll get more of that, because I don't know, I'm about to head into like third act breakup territory, which hopefully there isn't one. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I am pleasantly surprised by how much I really like this one so far. And that's it. Catch you guys in the next one. The next clip. Alright, I finished Backhanding Compliments. I'll give this, honestly, a 4. I really enjoyed my time. They did have a third act breakup, which is a little annoying. However, it did feel very true to the characters I was reading about. They also fell head over heels in love rather quickly, but also, what's a gal to do when you meet your soulmate? You know what I mean? Jelly bean. So, other than that, I really didn't have any complaints. I really enjoyed these characters. The epilogue, I also enjoyed because they didn't end with a baby or a marriage. So, there's that. However, I think it would have been nice to, like, see them, like, how do you say, like, it would have been nice maybe in the epilogue as well to have included, like, Juliet possibly, like, improving her game via, like, the things that, like, Luca has taught her, and or, like, their interaction of, like, practice to make themselves better. And it would have been nice to see, like, a little moment of Juliet also, because the epilogue is very much from, like, Luca's point of view. So it would have been nice to get a second epilogue possibly of Juliet accomplishing something else, or, like, feeling good about something else, the same way that Luca is. But other than that, this was a good time. I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed this. So, yeah. I think I like sports romances. Shocker, but not shocker, because I like sports. 2, I think I may like the subgenre of, like, a little bit of, like, what is it, magical realism? Or a speculative twist, as the author calls it, when it comes to contemporary romances. So, you know, it'd be cool. Anybody got an F1 romance that has, like, a soulmate twist like this? In her acknowledgements, she thanks all the fanfic writers who write soulmate AUs. So, anyways, I don't know what I'm going to read next. I did just get approved for an arc of a tennis romance, so maybe it'll be next. Maybe we'll do Breakpoint. I'm not really sure. You'll know before I do. Okay. I have tried this book twice. I'm now, what's the percentage? I'm 22. I'm basically a quarter through the book. And I just, like, at first I DNF'd. Well, I soft DNF'd after the first chapter because it was like, I'm a girl boss. And I was like, I can't do 2012 girl bossification. I don't like it. Then I was like, well, what if I just listen to it instead of also listening to it and reading it? Maybe it's too much to be, like, double dosed. And now we're a quarter in and I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I don't like it in the sense that right now it bothers me. And maybe this is, like, obviously a personal preference. I don't think I like Insta lust in the way that it's like I see him and I'm wet. I think I prefer Insta in the I see him and he's so hot. Oh my gosh, I just want to kiss him. Not I'm immediately drenched in my pants and my body's having, like, a physical reaction from, like, locking eyes. And I get that it's a second chance romance. I get it. But I feel like if that's how you're gonna lead it, in my mind, I would much prefer some background to their relationship, so at least I understand why you're having such a reaction, not having the reactions, and then you're telling me it's because the sex was so good. And it's like, okay, but was the relationship good? I don't know. I don't really want to, I don't want to DNF it, but I don't like it. I don't like it. And that makes me sad. So I'm calling quits. I don't know what I'm going to listen to next, because I was supposed to read an arc a long time ago, but LOL. I waited so long that the book is officially out. So, yeah. Anyways. That was a short-lived time for Breakpoint, but we're DNFing. I can't do it. And perhaps if I was in a better mood, maybe, but I'm not in the mood to tolerate something I don't really like. It's like, no. You gotta go, babes. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Alright, I came on here to read my very last tennis arc. Well, not my last tennis arc. The last tennis book that happened to be an arc for this tennis vlog, and it didn't go as planned. I DNF'd it. And here's why. The first page was informed us that the color, spelling the word color with a U was not wrong. It was the correct way to spell it. And if you saw an S instead of a Z or a Z instead of an S, that too was the correct way to spell it. Which felt honestly very condescending and icked me out, because I was like, I am aware that people use you in places that, like, in my English we do not. I'm also aware that like Z's and S's are flipped and switched, or exist or don't exist in other words too, and it doesn't make the word wrong. I can still, like, it's still the same word. And I just didn't like it, because like my English is not any more correct than somebody else's English. Like, English is English, and maybe that's also because I'm dyslexic, and I'm very sensitive to people being like that about language. Like, you know what I'm saying, you understand me. So there's no need for this like hierarchy. It's weird and I don't like it, and I moved past it because I was like, maybe I'm sensitive. So then I read the first chapter, and they're playing tennis, and it's very like broad strokes, not real, like, it's just like we rallied back and forth, she hit it and I ran, and it's like, okay, so more detail, but I guess like whatever. But then the racket breaks in the middle and the end of the match because she hits the ball, and instead of telling me or like reading from the way it's worded, it's not like the top end like crushed because the like strings pulled at it. It's like like here's the handle and here's the, like the two prongs. It's like these cracked, and then all she's left is holding like the handle when she goes to go shake the person. How does that happen? Like, what? And then what was the last thing? Oh, I made this chapter 2, and they basically state like, oh, I've never slept with a redhead. I bet he bursts into flames every time he steps into the sun. And I was like, okay, no, I don't know. I was like, all three within like the first like 10 pages. We're making like weird redhead, like gingers have no souls joke in 2025. Can you hear my roommate? They have impeccable timing that every time I turn on the camera, they leave their room and go into the kitchen. Every time. It's like we're synced. It's banana beans. Anyways, we're DNFing. So this is a lot shorter of a vlog than I thought it was, and I don't have any other tennis romances that I'm like currently interested in. So I think I'm going to leave you here until I possibly find some more to read, because DNFing 2 out of 3 kind of sucks. Truly. So, and I was like, I've like really wanted these to work out, and I was like, kind of bummed. But finding a tennis romance is not the easiest thing in the world. So I guess let's see if I make an episode 2 of this. This is getting up way past the US Open. I think the next Grand Slam is the Australian Open, which is funny because the character I think was Australian in this last one that I DNF'd, and she was at the US Open. So, and then the Aussie Open takes place next year. It's like at the same time. Or I remember it because it's basically that starts, and then Formula 1 also starts at the same time. And you know where the beginning race for Formula 1 is? The Australian Grand Prix. But okay, I leave you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!